that was set today to consider establishing a reward fund for the November 17th tragedy that's impacted not just us in this chamber, but our entire city. So we will start with that. I wanted to initiate the conversation by saying you see the entire council here. Mr. Brennifield will be here in 1 minute. And we want to express our condolences, our sympathies to the entire families and the community, the Hmong community in particular. This is, I think everyone was just shocked by the extent and nature of this tragedy. So from our hearts to your hearts, we will walk and talk and ride together to get through this crisis. And I wanted to add that today, the special meeting will be adjourned in loving memory of those that are no longer with us. So thank you very much. So from that, we will come to our council members here. First up, what happens is we have buttons up here, and if you want to speak, you hit a button that lights up my screen so that we have an orderly conduct here with who's who and what we're going to do. So first up is Member Chavez.
Thank you, President Capriolio. Again, just to echo those sentiments, I want to extend our condolences to the family. I had an opportunity to meet with the family last night at their home. It's heartbreaking to see that, the hurt and the pain of having to lose a family member. And we wanted to show a really one voice and being in unity today here as a council, as the mayor, police chief, and our officers that are working hard on this case. And we're praying for the families. But I wanted it to also, by name, remember the folks that this tragedy affected. Si Lee, Pia Vang, Ku Zhang, Calix Zhang Tao, and if we could have a moment of silence for them. Thank you. Thank you. I think when we are confronted with situations like this in our city, it's so important that we speak with one voice, that the community knows that we support them. And today is a symbol of that, where we as City of Fresno say that we support our community, that we support the family. We know that this tragedy is not just going to affect them for the next week or two, but it's going to be an ongoing challenge. In speaking with the family, we know that they're going to need a lot of support in the future, and it's going to be important for us as a city, as a community, to come together and provide those services, and we will do that. And so we wanted to communicate that publicly and tell the family that whatever you need, the City of Fresno will be here to support you. Thank you, President.
Thank you. Member Soria.
Just very brief. Thank you, Council President. I think a majority of the community members heard me at the press conference on Wednesday. I just want to again send my heartfelt condolences to the entire Hmong community, and special prayers and big hugs to every single family. I did get to meet Si Lee's family at the press conference, but this is a very painful time for the entire city of Fresno. It's not just about the Hmong community. I think that when we think about what happened in that neighborhood, that it hurts us all, because it is something that could happen in another neighborhood that any of other of us represent. So I want to thank all the law enforcement officials, our local folks, our state folks, our federal folks, for coming in and working swiftly in trying to address this, and hoping that we do get to justice, to get some closure to the family members and to the entire community. I also, want to say that I do believe that today is a symbolic day in terms of what we are trying to demonstrate, not just to the Hmong community, but to the city as a whole, that when there is a tragedy that happens, that we're going to work together, regardless of where we're at politically, to make sure that we address the issue that is in front of us. But most importantly, I think that this is kind of the first step in demonstrating that there is some work to do here locally, so that we address the challenges that plague this city and the violence that exists. So I want to thank all of you, the folks that are here, Thank you to Councilmember Arias for his leadership, to trying to get us all together to work swiftly to make sure that the families have the resources that they need as they are struggling to mourn for their families at the same time. So again, and thank you to the community. I've seen the link being shared by thousands of people, not just here locally. I think folks across the nation are feeling the same pain. And so it is amazing to see the type of support that exists for the Hmong community and for the city of Fresno. Again, thank you everyone for making this happen.
Member Butterfield.
Yeah, I too want to express my condolences, love, support for those affected by this horror and tragedy. We will support you. We are with you. The fact that this council is meeting today for a special meeting, not only to support the effort to find the killers, but also to make a statement. And the statement, along with Mayor Brand and our police chief here, we are all united in supporting you. We will be with you all the way, every day, as long as is needed. I also want to thank the first responders. It's a very difficult thing to respond to, and I want to thank our police chief, our police department, all law enforcement personnel, federal, state, local. It is very important that justice be served, justice be swift, and that the killers be found and be found quickly. And I know all of law enforcement is working to make sure that happens. I have no doubt they will be found, and I have no doubt that justice will be served. Justice is very important to the families, to this community, and for the community to know that this kind of behavior is completely unacceptable and completely intolerable, will not be tolerated in the city of Fresno. So just know that we are with you, we stand with you, we are fully supportive, and we will make sure that this kind of thing never happens again. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Butterfield. Next is Member Esparza.
Good morning. This is a tragedy that has really shaken Fresno to its core, and the Hmong community is very well integrated into the fabric of what makes up the Fresno community. And so, I've had the opportunity throughout the week to offer condolences and support, and I'm looking forward to continuing to do that today here as we hopefully take an action that will help justice to be served for our entire community. Thank you.
Member Arias.
Thank you, Council President Capriolio. Just a quick thank you to the paramedics and the emergency doctors who responded with our first responders and our police officers. It's clear that they've saved lives that night, and they continue to take care of the victims who are still in the hospital recovering from this tragedy. For the general public today, we're calling a special meeting and asking our council colleagues and their mayor to contribute to increasing the reward fund to capture the perpetrators of this tragedy. So it's my hope that, and I know that this council and my colleagues and the mayor will be unanimous in their support to try and at least ensure that the folks responsible for this don't continue to walk the streets of our city. With that, my condolences to all the families that we've talked to in recent days. And there is some light at the end of the tunnel. As of this morning, we had more than 200 donors provide to the Victims Fund. The Fresno and the nation is responding to our cries for help. So thank you to everyone who's donated, and for those who haven't, please do so.
Member Carbasi.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to say this is an absolute tragedy. It's absolutely senseless. And I want to recognize and just say to the Hmong elders and the Hmong community, I know how important family is to you. Family is important to my people as well, and your family just got bigger. And in this time of tragedy, we not only pray for the families of the victims, and we're ready to support you, we also pray for those that are recovering now. Chief Hall, I can say with good faith in this, that this council will fully support your leadership, and we're confident you're going to do your job, and we're here to help you as well. And you are highly valued. The Hmong community is very, very highly valued, and we're going to come together as a community, and you're going to get the justice you deserve. Thank you.
Mayor, would you like to approach and address the chamber?
Good morning. Occasionally we disagree on issues, but on this issue, the mayor's office, the entire council, indeed the entire city supports the Hmong community. This is a tragedy that my primary responsibility is to keep the city safe, and I want to thank our police department for their initial reaction and the ongoing effort with them, other law enforcement agencies to find the killers, to put them in justice, because people are frankly terrified in Southeast Fresno, and it affects all of us. I know all of us feel the same way. And we're not going to be defined by an act of violence. We're going to be defined by our reaction to it, our overwhelming support for the Hmong community, our overwhelming support for the families of the victims, to make a statement on who Fresno is, and the mayor's office will contribute to this reward fund, offer the resources of the city, whatever it takes to bring a closure to these families and to unite this city together. And I appreciate the cooperation of all council members. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Chief Hall, could I have you come up for a moment? Good morning, sir. I just wanted to express our appreciation for you. You're new on the job, and this is could never, ever be even thought about, expected, or otherwise, especially as a new chief. And all of a sudden, you're confronted with this. The entire community is. And I think on behalf of all of us, we want to thank you. And we want to thank your team and your ability to organize everyone, put this thing together, and get these guys. These killers are going to go down. We know that. It's just a matter of time. So personally, thank you. I know if each person could stand up and shake your hand, they would thank you as well, because you're doing a great job in a very tough, difficult situation. So thank you, Chief. We appreciate everything you're doing.
Thank you, and I'd also like to commend the council and the mayor's office for coming together as a community and supporting the Hmong community. I'm heartbroken. I'm heartbroken over this, but more, I'm angry. I'm so mad that this occurred. People behind me, they're not the Hmong community. They're Fresno. These are Fresno, and they're our community. And I will not rest until they're captured. The suspects are captured and brought to justice. And then I'll grieve, and I'll grieve with them. But my focus, the department's focus, with our partners at the state and federal level, we have one focus right now, and that's to bring justice to this community. Thank you.
And we fully know you will do that. So justice will prevail. It's just a matter of time. So with that, the screen is clear.
Council President, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the city to contribute $40,000 towards the Crime Stoppers Reward Fund to find the perpetrator who committed this heinous crime.
We have a motion by Member Arias, seconded by Member Chavez. Screen is clear. Is there any opposition? Seeing none, it passes unanimously. Congratulations to my colleagues, and we hope that will help you. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you and everything that you have contributed to our community, and not the Hmong community, the Fresno community, because we are one family. One family. We'll always be that way, and we welcome everyone into the Fresno family. With that, I think we have done our business. So with that, we'll adjourn in loving memory. Sorry. Oh, sorry. We can take this out to the public. Is there some? Please come forward. Good to see you, sir.
Pao Yang, Fresno Center, President Capriolio, City Council, Mayor Lee Brand, and Chief Hall. With me this morning is our Hmong community, our elders and leaders, and beside me here is Ku's widow. Ku Zhang is one of the men that was murdered on Sunday. This here is Pia's father, also with me. His son was murdered on Sunday. I want to thank the city leadership for coming together. It's not a Hmong tragedy. It is a Fresno City tragedy. And I thank all of you for coming together and supporting us, supporting the 4 families and all the victims. We still have 6 folks that are hurt, injured in the hospital. We continue to look for your support. But on behalf of the Fresno Center and some of our elders that probably are not able to come up and speak, I want to thank all of you for your support. And we look forward to your continual support as we find the killers and bring them to justice. 3 things that the Hmong community is looking forward for from the support of the city. Number 1, find the killers. Number 2, please help us bury our dead. Number 3, let's heal together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Anyone else wish to come forward and speak on this item? All right. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for letting us know that you are part of our family and we are part of your family. We're Fresnans. And we'll unite, stand together, and justice will prevail. Justice will prevail in this situation. Screen is clear, so thank you all very much for being here. And again, we will adjourn in loving memory of those that we lost in this tragedy. So thank you all for being here. Appreciate it very much. Meeting is adjourned.